everyone. Ready for a deep dive into something pretty incredible?
I'm ready.
Okay, awesome. Today we're talking about the future of education.
The future of education.
Oh, wow. And specifically how AI is going to completely change how we learn.
Oh, wow.
Right. So you sent over some really fascinating podcast scripts about the whole evolution of education,
Right.
from the old school methods to where AI is taking us,
Yeah.
It seems like we're going from memorizing all these dates to having personalized AI tutors, which is kind of, it's exciting, but a little intimidating, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely a little bit of both.
Right.
But it is interesting because even with all this new tech coming up,
Yeah.
we can already see the cracks in the current education system.
Mhm.
We're so focused on tests and memorization.
Yeah.
But does any of it really stick with you long term?
Right.
And does it really prepare you for the world that's changing faster than ever?
Totally. It's like you're trying to download a textbook into your brain the night before an exam.
Yeah,
You might pass the test, but did you really learn anything?
exactly.
I mean, I can barely remember what I had for breakfast, let alone the War of 1812.
Exactly. And the skills that are in demand now,
Yeah.
things like, critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity,
Uh-huh.
they don't come from just memorizing facts.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where AI comes in.
You're right.
It's not just about making learning more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
It's about changing what we learn and how we learn.
So it's not just about those online learning platforms that are popping up everywhere, like Khan Academy or Coursera.
Yeah.
I mean, those are great for accessibility and stuff.
Totally.
But it sounds like AI is going to take it a step further.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Think about AI platforms like Dreambox or Squirrel AI.
Okay.
These systems are already personalizing lessons
Uh-huh.
based on how you learn best. They can analyze your strengths and weaknesses in real time
Wow.
and adjust the difficulty level.
That's crazy.
It's like having a personal tutor who knows how your brain works.
So that's like an app that knows I'm struggling with fractions,
Exactly.
but I'm awesome at algebra.
Yeah.
And it creates a custom lesson plan just for me.
Exactly.
That's wild. But what about if you need help understanding a concept or a writing assignment or something?
Well, we're already seeing AI tools like ChatGPT
Oh, yeah.
that can do just that.
Really?
They can break down complex ideas, give you instant explanations,
Wow.
even help you brainstorm and improve your writing.
So it's like having access to a subject matter expert
Yeah,
whenever you need one.
pretty much.
It's sounding more and more like those sci-fi movies where everyone has a holographic tutor
I know, right?
who can teach them anything. But I have to ask, is there a downside to all this?
Oh, man.
Are we going to become too reliant on technology?
That's a really important question.
Yeah.
While these tools are incredible,
Yeah.
we can't forget about the human element of learning.
Okay.
Students still need to develop, those critical thinking skills
Right.
and be able to learn independently.
Mm-hmm.
It's about finding that balance between leveraging technology and nurturing those essential human skills.
And what about access? It seems like there's a real risk that these advancements could widen the gap between those who have access to this technology and those who don't.
Absolutely.
Right.
Equity is a huge concern.
Mhm.
We need to make sure that these AI tools are available to everyone,
Yeah.
regardless of their socioeconomic background or location.
So we need to close the digital divide, not make it wider.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's fast forward to the future, say 2030.
Okay.
What does education look like in this world where AI is fully integrated into the learning process?
Okay, so picture this.
Okay.
You wake up and log into your personalized learning hub
Uh-huh.
instead of a generic curriculum. You have a custom learning plan created just for you.
Wow.
Your very own AI tutor.
Hold on, an AI tutor?
Yeah.
Is this a digital robot who knows everything?
Think of it more like a highly intelligent learning companion.
Okay.
It knows your learning style, your strengths, your weaknesses,
Uh.
even your interests.
So it adjusts the pace and style of learning to keep me engaged and challenged.
Exactly.
So are we talking holograms and virtual reality here?
Maybe.
Because I'm all for a learning experience that feels more like a video game than a boring lecture.
That's exactly where this is heading.
Whoa.
Struggling with chemistry,
Ah, yeah.
your AI tutor could create interactive 3D models of molecules,
Oh, cool.
or even a virtual lab where you can experiment safely.
That's so great.
Interested in history?
Yeah.
Get ready for immersive historical simulations
Oh, wow.
where you can, walk through ancient Rome
That would be amazing.
or experience major historical events firsthand.
This is seriously mind-blowing.
I know.
It's not just about making learning more engaging, it's about tailoring the entire experience to each student's individual needs and interests.
Exactly.
But how does this translate into real-world skills? I mean, are we going to be prepared for jobs that don't even exist yet?
That's one of the most exciting things about this.
Right.
AI tutors can bridge the gap between traditional education
Uh-huh.
and the skills you need in the real world.
Okay.
Imagine learning coding by, like, actually building a website or an app.
Right.
Or understanding financial literacy by running your own virtual business.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's learning by applying knowledge in a way that actually makes sense.
Right.
This is starting to feel like we're stepping into a whole new era of education.
I think we are.
Yeah.
And this shift is about moving away from rote memorization towards understanding and application.
Okay.
Instead of just memorizing dates and formulas.
Okay.
We'll be using AI tools to solve real-world problems.
So in fields like space exploration,
Yeah.
business, or even fields that haven't been invented yet.
Exactly. It's about preparing students for a future we can't even fully imagine.
Okay, so we've got personalized AI tutors, immersive learning experiences,
Uh-huh.
and a curriculum that's constantly adapting to the needs of each student.
Yeah.
This all sounds a little too good to be true.
Well,
What are the potential downsides? What are the challenges we need to address? I mean, we've already talked about the digital divide and the importance of not losing that human connection in education. What else should we be thinking about?
Right. Well, yeah, you're hitting on some really crucial points.
Okay.
We can't just throw technology to education and expect everything to magically get better.
Right.
In fact, it could make things worse if we're not careful.
So where do we start? I mean, we've talked about the digital divide and making sure everyone has access to this technology. But what about things like data privacy? These AI systems are going to be collecting a ton of information about students. How do we make sure that data is used responsibly and ethically?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest challenges we need to address.
Okay.
These AI systems are going to know a lot about students, like their learning habits, strengths, weaknesses, even their emotional responses.
Yeah.
And that data needs to be protected.
So what are we talking about here? Stricter regulations, parental consent.
It's going to take a multi-pronged approach.
Okay.
We need clear guidelines and regulations around how student data can be collected, stored, and used.
Right.
Transparency is key.
Yeah.
Parents and students need to know exactly what data is being collected and for what purpose.
Okay.
And they need to have control over that data with the ability to, access, correct, or even delete it.
And we need to make sure that this data is protected from unauthorized access or misuse. No one wants to see a student's personal information ending up in the wrong hands.
Absolutely. Security is paramount.
Yeah.
We need to be using the most robust security measures available to protect student data from breaches and hacks.
Okay.
And we need to be constantly evolving our security protocols as technology advances.
So it's an ongoing process.
It is.
Yeah.
But even with the best security measures in place, there's another layer to this.
Okay.
It's not just about protecting data. It's about using it responsibly.
What do you mean by that?
We need to make sure that AI is being used to benefit all students, not just a select few.
Okay.
There's a risk that these systems could reinforce existing biases if they're not designed and implemented carefully.
So we need to be mindful of the potential for algorithmic bias and make sure these systems are fair and equitable for all students.
Exactly. And that's going to require ongoing monitoring and evaluation to ensure that these systems are working as intended and not perpetuating inequalities.
Okay, so that's a lot to think about.
It is.
But let's shift gears for a second.
Okay.
Even as we solve the data privacy and equity issues, there's another big question looming. What happens to teachers in this AI-driven world?
Right, that's the question I think everyone's wondering about.
Are we going to see teachers replaced by robots?
Well,
is this the end of the teaching profession as we know it?
I don't think so.
Okay.
In fact, I think the role of the teacher becomes even more important.
Really?
In this new landscape.
Interesting.
Think of it this way. If AI is taking over tasks like grading, providing personalized instruction, even creating lesson plans.
Yeah.
What does that free up teachers to do?
I guess it gives them more time to focus on the things that AI can't do, like mentoring students, building relationships, fostering creativity and critical thinking.
Exactly.
So it's not about replacing teachers. It's about empowering them to be even more effective.
Exactly. Teachers become facilitators, guides, mentors. They help students navigate this complex world of information.
Okay.
Develop essential skills. And connect what they're learning to real-world applications.
So it's a shift in focus from delivering information to fostering those uniquely human skills that AI can't replicate.
Exactly.
But how do we prepare teachers for this new role? I mean, it's a pretty big shift from the traditional model of teaching.
We need to invest in professional development and training programs.
Okay.
That help teachers understand how to effectively integrate AI into their classrooms.
So, like, how to use these tools to enhance their teaching.
Exactly.
Not be replaced by them.
Right.
And we need to make sure that teachers are part of the conversation from the beginning.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
They need to have a voice in shaping how AI is implemented in education.
Yeah, their expertise and experience are invaluable.
They are.
But it's not just about training teachers. We also need to rethink how we design schools and classrooms to support this new model of learning.
Yeah.
So are we talking about getting rid of the traditional classroom altogether?
It might not be that drastic,
Okay.
but we need to create spaces that are flexible and adaptable, that encourage collaboration and hands-on learning.
Okay.
Spaces that are equipped with the technology and resources to support AI-powered learning.
It's like we're designing learning labs for the 21st century.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about the challenges,
Yeah.
but let's take a moment to imagine what education could look like in 2030
Okay.
if we get this right.
All right.
Paint me a picture of this ideal future of learning. What does it look like?
Imagine a world where learning is no longer confined to the traditional classroom,
Okay.
where students can access personalized learning experiences from anywhere in the world at any time.
So we're talking about a truly global classroom.
Yeah.
Where students from different cultures and backgrounds can connect and learn from each other.
Exactly. Learning becomes this collaborative, interconnected experience. And it's not just about accessing information. It's about applying that knowledge in real-world contexts.
So instead of just memorizing facts about history,
Yeah.
you could be participating in a virtual simulation of a historical event,
Right.
or even creating your own historical narratives using AI tools.
Precisely. It's about making learning active, engaging, and relevant to the world around us. And it's about empowering students to become lifelong learners,
Okay.
equipped with the skills and mindset to thrive in a world that's constantly changing.
This is starting to sound less like science fiction and more like a real possibility.
I think so.
But even in this ideal future,
Yeah.
I think it's important to remember that technology is just a tool.
Absolutely.
It's the human element that makes learning truly meaningful.
Absolutely. We can't lose sight of the importance of human connection, mentorship, and the joy of discovery.
Yeah.
AI can enhance those aspects of learning, but it can't replace them.
Right.
The future of education is not about choosing between technology and human interaction.
Okay.
It's about finding the right balance between the two.
It's about using technology to create a more human-centered learning experience.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've explored the challenges and envisioned the possibilities, but what does this all mean for our listener?
Right.
How can they prepare for this AI-powered future of education,
Yeah.
whether they're a student, a parent, or an educator?
Right.
That's the million-dollar question, right? How do we actually prepare for a future that's still,
Yeah.
being written?
It is.
Yeah, it can feel overwhelming, especially with all this talk about AI and robots,
Right.
taking over everything.
Yeah, it's a lot to process.
Right.
But I think the first step is simply being aware of what's happening.
Okay.
Just stay informed about the latest developments in AI and how they're being applied to education.
So read articles,
Yeah.
listen to podcasts, attend webinars.
Exactly. There are tons of resources out there.
It's like anything else. Right. The more you know,
Right.
the less intimidating it becomes.
Yeah.
But it's not just about reading about it, right?
Yeah.
It's about actually experiencing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Don't be afraid to experiment with AI-powered learning tools that are already out there.
Oh, okay.
There are apps, platforms, even online courses that use AI to personalize learning.
Uh-huh.
Just try them out. See what works for you.
Okay.
Don't hesitate to provide feedback.
It's like test driving a car before you buy it, right?
Exactly.
You need to get a feel for it,
Yeah.
see how it handles.
Mm.
But even beyond the tech itself, I think there's a certain mindset you need to have in this rapidly changing world.
Yeah, you're talking about a growth mindset, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That idea that your abilities aren't fixed,
Uh-huh.
that you can always learn and grow.
Exactly. The future of learning is all about adaptability and lifelong learning. We need to be open to new ways of learning.
Yeah.
New technologies, new ideas.
Uh-huh.
We need to be willing to constantly update our skills and knowledge.
And we can't forget the importance of human connection.
Yeah.
Even in an AI-driven world, relationships matter.
Right.
Teachers, mentors, peers,
Uh-huh.
they all play a vital role in our learning journey.
Yeah.
We need to nurture those connections
Right.
and support each other as we, navigate this new terrain.
It's like we're all explorers
Yeah.
setting out into uncharted territory.
Totally.
We need each other to make sense of it all.
We do.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the future of education,
Yeah.
I want to leave our listener with one final thought.
How can we ensure that these powerful AI tools are used responsibly and ethically to benefit all learners?
That's a great question.
It's a question we need to grapple with as a society. And one that, I hope will continue to spark conversation and innovation.
It's a challenge, but it's also an incredible opportunity.
It is.
The future of education is being shaped right now.
Right.
And we all have a role to play in shaping it. So
yeah,
keep exploring.
Keep learning.
Keep learning.
Keep asking questions.
Asking questions, exactly. And who knows, maybe you'll be the one to develop the next groundbreaking AI tool.
You never know.
Right. That transforms education for generations to come.
That would be awesome.
Right. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the future of learning.